Hello. I just got off of work and we are starting this video fresh right now. It is currently 3:36. You'll just kind of have to trust me on that. It's 3:36. I have not one, but two beverages. I got my Dutch Bros. This is a Dragon Slayer Rebel, and then water. Important to stay hydrated. The point of this video, if you didn't read the title, hi. We're doing our first 48-hour readathon of the year. And also, this is my after tax season celebration. Like, tax season just ended on Wednesday. I just got off of work, and now it is time. We have the Aurelium all-nighter going on. At the same time, we also have pageathon hosted by Cassidy, Mel, Monica, and Lexi, and I'm so very excited. G is hosting the magical readathon. So we've just got like a lot of fun going on specifically this weekend, and so I'm just like ecstatic. It's been so long since I've just sat down with no plans but like reading, and I'm really excited. The only other thing that I have like planned is because people are going to be sprinting throughout the weekend, I'm planning to read during the reading portions, and then during the talking portions, when I don't feel like I need to chime in and say too much, I plan to clean parts of my home. So if we're sprinting for 45 minutes and then talking for 15 minutes, that's 15 minutes I can use to clean the bathroom, sweep the floors, do the dishes, the things to like get my home tidy again and back into like a clean state, because tax season kicks my ass every year and I've maintained my home, but I've not cleaned my home, and I'm prepping for all the spring cleaning that's to come. And that starts with just a basic layer of cleaning, and then I can go a little bit deeper next time. We have a mini package. Of course, I had to support my girls, so I had to get their merch. I do already have somewhere, oh boy. I already have 2 Aurelium bookmarks. Eventually, I would like to get an archivist bookmark because I have a new character, but we'll get into that maybe at some point. But I got the little merch, oh so small and tiny, and the glare is terrible, little sticker to put in my journal because I'm journaling this year. And then I also got both of the bookmarks. So, of course, I had to represent. So you will see versions of these throughout the readathon. It's so tricky. Typically, this would be the part where it's like introductions, hello, hi, how are we doing? At this point, I would give you my TBR, the books that I'm planning or thinking about reading. This list here, this big piece of paper, is my Aurelium TBR, as well as just like video plan TBRs, and then just like things that I want to be reading TBR. So I don't have a super specific idea of what it is I'm going to be reading, how many books I'm going to read, pages. I don't really know. I know that for pageathon, I will be submitting pages probably once an hour, so we'll have some kind of cool live tracker for that, for this video. For Aurelium, once I finish the book, I can then submit it. I don't know if there's bonus points during the all-nighter, or if it's just like a fun little mechanical thing that we do together, but I have a big stack here of books that I would like to be getting to. I have a TBR list over there. Less or so, I don't think I'm going to get to the books over there. Truly, it's going to be, I think, this TBR cart, audiobooks. We're gonna see. I also have plans to walking my dog, making sure I'm getting some steps in this weekend so I'm not completely rotting like a vegetable, and then again cleaning. So that's kind of like the overall plans. I think that's all of our chitter chatter. I also think there's potential that the Dewey 24-hour readathon is tomorrow, so I'll check into that, and if that's the case, there might be a bingo board that I can play with. So there's, many options, many things going on. We'll get into it. We'll talk about it. Enjoy the ride. Thank you for being here with me. I'm so freaking excited. I truly, So anywho, I will check in with you guys probably when I've picked my first read, and kind of, I'm gonna sit during the first chatty part with Lexi and everybody and kind of craft like a light itinerary. Nothing too crazy, but a light to-do list of like plans. Maybe I'll add some kind of like game component of like dice or something to like entice me and excite me of picking whatever cleaning thing I need to do or of the sorts. I'm gonna mess around with it. I'll get back to you guys. See you in a bit. Another thing, I did pick my first book because I totally forgot to mention with you guys that this is also luckily happening at a time that's pretty, what's the word? Monumental time in my life. I'm being very dramatic about this, but basically, I am reading my 50th book of 2026, which also is the 1000th book that I will be reading since tracking my reading in 2021. So in 5 years and some change, a few months, I will have read exactly 1,000 books in this time period, which it feels crazy. Hi. It truly feels like unreal. Like, I don't own all of the books that I've read. I don't think about all of the books that I have read. And so I often like forget that I've read so many things in my life, and especially since starting YouTube and starting like tracking in general, which is just super cool. So I'm very pleased and excited about it. So I wanted my 50th/1000th book to be kind of special to me, and I was really struggling with figuring out like what could that possible book be. I would love nothing more for it to be a 5-star. I've had like 2 5-stars this year. I would love another one. And I'm reading an arc that I've had for a while. I did bad on arcs. You cannot give me an arc during tax season, NetGalley. That's on you, actually. But Where No Shadows Stay by Sarah Hesham. This is the author of the Jissid Heir and Jissid Crown duology, which I loved. I devoured both books 5 stars. I love them through and through. I have like truly no complaints about the series. I just love it so very much. And this is Sarah's horror debut. It is crazy to go from like a fantasy romance duology to horror. Like a young adult teen thriller horror. I don't really know a lot about it except for like she is, I think, like a prom queen type character, and like bad things are gonna happen. And that's really all that I know. Chapter 1, present day. This is going to be the first pick. We'll see how far I get. It's 304 pages long. Let's go. Let's do it. Okay, literally, I'm already obsessed. No one has tried to kill me yet today. I had a tally in my journal. If I can go another 7 hours, it'll officially be 3 days since the last attack. My pen hovers over the page. I cross out attack. What do you call a gas station attendant who douses you with gasoline and races a lighter? I'm obsessed with that. I'm obsessed with like somebody who's like constantly on like death's door. I'm also like already obsessed with this narrator. I don't know who she is. I don't think I've heard her before, but I'm very interested, very invested in this narrator. And so I'm very excited to see her bring Mina to life. Mina Flambe, let's do it. Okay, hi. I have made it 82 pages into Where No Shadow Stays by Sarah Hesham. And I'm liking it. I'm not loving it as much, but I do really appreciate the balance between like humor and light body horror. I wouldn't say that it's extreme by any measures. Again, it is young adult, so I think that's probably why. But I am liking it. I really like the idea of like the perky, happy-go-lucky dance team captain, homecoming queen who like has this really tight-knit friendship of like kind of the outsiders, but also like the popular people, like having this perfect relationship with the basketball captain, like picture perfect. And then going on a secret, hidden, mysterious trip to Egypt to visit like family and try to like learn more about her mom's somewhat mysterious death, kind of giving the vibes of that one book that I can't think of right now, What the River Knows. We got there. It's kind of giving that minus like the adventure and treasure hunting of What the River Knows. Like you're not actually in Egypt seeing all the fun stuff, but upon her return home from like this little mini trip, she might be cursed. Something seems to have followed her home, and this thing seems to very much want her dead. And then on top of these moments, we're getting some flashbacks to different characters. There's Nadine in 1977, flash forward 1982, where some people are mysteriously dying in Cairo. And then we're also getting another person's perspective. I think we've only seen her once, and she's like a current but not present timeline. Like she's a 3 weeks ago timeline. So I don't know much about her yet. But I am enjoying this. Mina's mom is dead, and she doesn't have a super strong relationship with her father because he was so distraught by his wife's death and just had a really hard time like creating a bond. So Mina is cursed that she can't be alone with somebody for more than like 30 seconds to a minute, or they will attempt to kill her in any means possible. It does not matter who. It was a teacher, it was a gas station attendant. Like, she's so scared that it's going to be her father. But of course, we have a character who might also have something going on with him, because he seems to be immune to whatever she's got going on. And so he's agreeing to help her. Are we surprised there's a little bit of romance in here, maybe? But yes, so Jesse is the next door neighbor who's like tough, bad boy, doesn't care about school, wears a leather jacket, maybe lives in a haunted house that everybody's scared of, and like has like this terrible father. But he decides he's gonna help Mina with her thing that she has going on, because for some reason they can be left alone and he won't have his eyes go orange and won't try to attack and kill her. And I think this is a really fun premise. I really like the popular girl who has everything she could have ever wanted, and then something goes horribly wrong, and you see the way that her character changes. You see that she's no longer this happy, positive girl. She isolates from her friends. She does not care as strongly about school. And I appreciate like the different areas of that, of like how much has changed in such a short period of time, because she does have some support. Like, although her father seems pretty neglectful, there is like one teacher that's like, I've noticed you, I see you, what's going on, I want to help you. But because of her fears and how do I want to phrase this? It's very much giving like a girl who faints if she sees too much blood, a girl who's just a girl who's strong in her own right. Now she has to go even further with her strength, because now she has to be able to fight off people and handle stabbings and bandage herself up, even though, again, if she sees too much blood, she'll faint. Like, she has these such normal teenage attributes, very human attributes, but is able to persevere and is like wanting to survive and is trying to figure out ways to do that, but also does not seem all that interested in reflecting on what happened on this trip to Egypt or trying to get answers to the curse until her neighbor's like, I'll help. And she's like, oh, okay, sure. Like, she's not really inquisitive about it. She's just like, this is now my life and I'm going to adapt and figure it out. Like, I'll never be alone. It'll be fine. And I just think it's a very interesting way to write a character and like look at her perspective, because I kind of feel like it's more relatable. It's obvious, like, when you read these characters, you want a character who's like so strong, so good at everything, and is able to like investigate really well. But I also really love the idea of like my experience of what would happen to me if I came home with a curse and the people around me were trying to kill me. I probably would keep my head down and avoid being alone with anybody. And I probably wouldn't try that hard to like get to the bottom of it and be like, how do you get rid of a curse? Because I wouldn't believe that there's a curse. I would just be like, this is a weird thing. People hate me. And you would just like be so in your head about it that you wouldn't go down the rabbit hole of like, how can I solve a potential ancient curse? Like, I don't think I would be that person. But I do think I could be the person that's like, get used to stabbing, I guess. Learn how to bandage yourself up. So I just think it's interesting and I'm really enjoying it. It's not a 5-star feeling just yet, which worries me a little bit. I'm debating on switching books at some point to see if maybe that will give me stronger 5-star feelings, just because I really want a 5-star. But I am liking it so far. I'm 82 pages into it and I'm having a good time. I like it, but I'm not loving it yet. But we are slowly getting more answers. I'm liking this new relationship that's kind of developing. So I'm definitely going to keep reading. I'm definitely intrigued, but I'm not getting the 5-star feels. JK. Yes, Mina is Mina. She has a nickname. It's Mina. So we're getting the historical timeline, and then we're getting the like actual events of what happened in Kara that led her to the present day where she's cursed. So we're getting her from present day, and then also her past timeline of like a month ago when she went on this trip. And then we're also getting like 40 years in the past of a different character who I'm assuming is going to link up with like what the curse has to do, like missing people and the dying. I'm sure it's all going to come together, but it's making more sense to me. Hello, I am back from the walk with the dog. I literally came back with a minute to spare on the reading sprint before I started yapping again, so it was truly perfect timing. But on that sprint, I decided to start a new audiobook because, of course, I'm tandem reading Where No Shadow Stays. So I'm reading that on my phone because it's only painfully on the NetGalley app and it was not available for like a Kindle download for some reason. So I'm reading it on the NetGalley app. I have 3 days before it expires. So that's kind of also why I'm rushing to finish it. So that's how I'm tandem reading that. But I started Best Offer Wins by Marissa Cashino, and I am having a really good time with this. As somebody who has purchased a house, and purchased a house when interest rates were quite low, I also bought a house like right before the pandemic. Like, I think I bought this home November of 2018 when I was 19 years old because my mom's in the industry. Truly would not have happened without her. Because of the COVID era, interest rates had dropped like significantly, like a crazy amount. So I have like an obscenely low interest rate, which is why I'll never move. I'll never sell, I'll never move because it's too good to give up. And I am quite pleased with the house, but I want to say 2 or 3 offers on completely different homes. I think I went and toured 2 homes. I think I might have done 1 blind offer, and all of them got denied until this house, which it kind of was like a sweet serendipity type of moment because my realtor, who's friends with my mom, because again, she's in the industry, this was his first home. So I thought it was really cool, and it was very special that he got to kind of like pass the torch to me. But yeah, I like this house, but a lot of this is very, okay, I don't want to go so far and say it's super relatable because that would be a bit of a stretch due to the fact that I did not stalk a family and like get into their good graces like in hopes that they would sell me a home. I did just kind of like play the game as like you do. But I will say that although the market was tough then and the inventory in Oregon's always been kind of bad, I do think it's worse now. And I don't think in this current day economy I could not get a house. So I really sympathize with everybody, and like I acknowledge just how lucky I got in this whole process. And so like reading a book like this, like, oh yeah, painful how close you can get to like your dream home and then it just gets snatched right away from you. Brutal, man. I'm liking the book. It's really fun to listen to. I think the narrator is doing such an incredible job with the audiobook that I'm like, oh my god. She's funny, she's self-aware, but also like not. And like says things that you're like, okay, I see where you're coming from. But then there's like other moments where she befriends the family or runs into the backyard and like looks in through the kitchen. Just like interesting decisions that I don't think I would personally make, but that may just be because I'm socially anxious. I did see Allie read this. You guys watch more YouTube. What's her YouTube channel? Allie Does Read. I've been friends with her for years. I should know her YouTube name by now. Allie to me. She recently read this in a reading vlog, and so I was like, okay, cool. And she had kind of similar opinions on like this main character lies constantly, and it is kind of stressful because you're like, when's she gonna get caught? When's it gonna blow up in her face? When are things gonna get really bad for her? So it's a different kind of tension for, I believe this is a mystery thriller, or at least a thriller. I don't know how yet. It better go off the deep end at some point, but it does give you that like unsettling feeling of just like something bad's gotta happen soon, right? I'm having a lot of fun with it. Part of me like wants to finish it and make this my 50th book just because I'm having fun, but I don't know if it'll be like a full 5 stars. So I think I'm gonna hold off and maybe listen to it when we're off sprints. My plan with this is, because Cassidy is also reading it at the same time, my plan is that I will finish it and I will use there's technically 5 spurts of 50 pages. So I guess I should explain pageathon a little bit. There are 8, I believe, prompts that you can read, and each prompt has a different reward / depending punishment for the 4 hosts. And we, the audience, are reading pages to unlock these goals. And so one of the goals is to steal a book off of one of their TBRs. Covers with Cassidy obviously is reading the same book as I am. So I'm using this to sabotage them, and I get to pick their books. And I think my plan with this is to use 4 of the 50 pages to make all of them, not really make all of them because they had to like pick and choose and whatever, but I believe they all have access to Kindle Unlimited. And if you know anything about me, I have been plowing my way through the Married to the Alien Cowboys series by Ursa Dax. So I think my plan is to use my 4 and put it on all of their lists of, I think they should read the book type of thing, so they all have it as an option at the least. It's short, it's fun, it's smutty. I think that it just does it really well, and then, you know, I can get more people into the series because I just really do enjoy it, and it's really fun to talk about. So that's kind of my plans behind the scenes for that. But alas, we are sprinting. We've got 38 minutes left. I've yapped for long enough. I'm going to, I think, jump back into Where No Shadow Stays and then kind of go from there. I did grab Rights of the Starling by Devney Perry because, again, I'm contemplating this being my 50th book because I have no reason to think that this won't be 5 stars because I loved Shield of Sparrow so much. It's truly like one of the best books, and I also know that Monica is planning to finish / read this, so it would also work for stealing off of her TBR. So I've got many options, but I grabbed this. It's 465 pages or so that's kind of a chunkier one, but I think it'll be also a quick read because I'll probably just want to devour it. So yeah, that's where we're at. Page count of the day so far. We are about 4 hours in. Yeah, we are 4 hours in. I have read 103 pages of Where No Shadow Stays, and I've listened to 60 pages of Best Offer Wins, so I am currently 163 pages in. That was a lot easier math. I did not have to use a calculator. I do acknowledge that. It was just convenient. I don't know how much like longer sprints are going to be for the night. Like we're on hour 4. We might get to like hour 5 or 6. I think they're about to get bean boozled in this next chatty part. So I don't know how much longer they're gonna go, and I also will probably like dip out of this vlog for the rest of the evening at that point, and we'll probably just like power through reading for the night until I fall asleep. And I do plan to sleep this 48 hours, thank you very much. Dewey starts tomorrow at 5 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. I don't think I'm gonna wake up at 5 a.m., but I have been naturally getting up around like 6:37, so there's potential for that. But we'll talk about Dewey's tomorrow. Good morning. I'm becoming a little bit more human-like. I have made my first cup of coffee in my new Keurig. My mom, bless her, saw that the Keurig that I wanted was $30 off. And so for Easter, she got me a little Keurig. And I've truly become a coffee addict in my ripe age of 27 all of a sudden. I think because my office got a Keurig and I had to buy K-cups for it because I need the cappuccino K-cups. I cannot do like just black coffee, and I need way too much cream, and our fridge is tiny. So I bought a bunch of like hazelnut, French vanilla, and caramel K-cups. Delightful, delicious. I'm having a thrilled time. But I brought a couple home once I got my own Keurig. So I'm not having that much coffee. I have like 3 cups a week, maybe, if I do it all. I really am an energy drink lover at the end of the day, which I will be cracking one open later tonight, I guarantee. But anywho, we're not here for that. I'm gonna have some breakfast. We're gonna chit chat for a little bit. It's like the best and the worst options where I have to kind of pick and choose which stream I'm gonna be tuned into. They're kind of on opposites right now. So when G is sprinting, what do I call the pageathon girls? Instead of saying all of their names over and over again, I just need they need a little click name or something. But their pageathon is talking, so it's kind of on a nice divide, but that means that I wouldn't be reading ever at all. So that's not the goal. Alas, it's all good. I'm making good progress with Best Offer Wins. I think I'm going to switch gears to finish Where No Shadow Stays. I have 157 pages left. Maybe less. I did read a little bit more in bed, but not very long. I think I passed out at 11 p.m. Got up at 7, right as sprints were starting. I woke up and was like, okay, I'm listening, and I started doing the motions of getting ready. Oh, I should also mention Dewey's 24-hour readathon has started. We are technically 3 hours into it. I'm technically an hour into it, but I've done no reading this morning so far, except for listening to an audiobook while getting ready. So, Dewey, I did my first roll, which was a 1, which meant that I got to move 3 spaces. So now I have to read 30 pages, and then we can roll again. I think that's all my updates for this morning. Good morning. Get your cup of coffee. Make sure you're drinking water. See you in a bit. What the heck? Oh no, what the heck? I finished Where No Shadow Stays. Sarah? What the hell? What was that? You know what's so interesting is last night when I was reading this, I took some notes in my phone of like what I wanted to say, like what I was thinking about it, but I didn't want to like turn the camera on for. And one of the thoughts was, I really appreciate how I can't predict what is going to happen next, where the story is going. It's one of those stories that you're really just in for a ride, and just like whatever happens is going to happen. And I really appreciate the level of like horror elements, thriller elements, contemporary high school elements, romance, the speculative of the horror, but also body horror. I really just appreciate that Sarah just did it all. And I think it was balanced very well. I was very invested in the romance. I was very interested in seeing the character growth. A lot happens in 300 pages, and it's not a book that gives you every answer. It doesn't fully wrap everything with a nice little neat bow, and I appreciate that. I think Sarah really took some risks with this one, and I don't think it's going to work for everybody, but I am hopeful that people who like reading young adult horror and don't mind having romance in it, and if you like ghosty, haunted housey type stories, I think you could probably enjoy this. I was really expecting like a big climactic ending at prom, because like they've noted in the synopsis that she's like the homecoming queen, and that's not exactly what really happened. And I was like, I'm just baffled by how it ended. I haven't come to terms. I haven't accepted. I'm in denial. I think this was really good. I don't know if it's a full 5-star book. I think it's closer to like a 4.5-star book. I really liked it though, and I do really recommend it. I am so excited to see where this author is going to go next, and like what more they're going to come out with. Like, this was their March of 26 release, so we're probably not going to get anything for a while. But yeah, I finished. I'm feeling emotions towards it for sure. This book definitely like had me, I think 160-ish pages, like a scene with Jessie had happened and I like kind of wanted to cry, like a happy sad tear kind of way. I think there's some really stunning prose in here. Not the whole book necessarily like constantly, but I do think there's some really good quotes that people can pull from this that'll like, depending on where you're at in life, could really hit you. And I just really appreciated this. I really enjoyed it. I'm really glad that I got to read it and finish it. On to the next. I'm going to finish Best Offer Wins, and then we can pick the next book. I feel like it's probably going to be Rites of the Starling, but we'll see if I'm feeling something a little bit different. I'm very happy to have finished my first book for the readathon. Do another die roll, which you won't be able to see, but that was a 6. 5, 6. Hydrate. Cheers, everybody. Hydrate. Get your water. And then another roll. That's a 2. I'm locked in, don't worry. Is to read the next 5 chapters, which will be very easy because Best Offer Wins has some pretty short chapters. So that's my plan. I'll check in with you guys when I finish my next book. Howdy ho. I just had some lunch, made some antipasta. Fantastic. It's been a while, but I've got all the ingredients that I need to use. Anywho, I finished Best Offer Wins, and this one's such a hard book to rate, I suppose, because while you're in it, it is fun, it's exciting, it's interesting. The main character sucks. She's not quite insufferable, but she is certainly not the best, and I very much could relate to her, but also she's like the most of extremes. Like, obviously it's a thriller book, so everybody can't be normal, but I really like the justifications in some way for like her backstory. Like, she used to be a reporter. She was in journalism school. And I think if you're going to have an amateur sleuth try to like uncover a mystery, I really appreciate having like some type of background in it, because if it's just like a random person who's suddenly so good at detective work, I get kind of frustrated. So her having that like frame of reference of, yeah, well, I learned this in school and this is what cold calling is like, which nightmare fuel. But I did appreciate that a lot. I think that her character was interesting. I think that we have such a small cast. I never felt shocked by anything that was happening, but at the same time, I didn't know what was going to happen. I didn't know where the story was going. And I think that just, was a good sign for a nice, fun thriller. It's definitely fun. It's definitely quick. It's a very easy read. So I'm very glad that I read it, but it wasn't like my favorite thing ever. It's not like a book that I'm going to think about long term. I am glad that I read it before the live show, because I've been very behind on Literally Dead book club picks, which is fantastic for me because I already have both The Ending Writes Itself and How to Kill a Guy in 10 Dates. And then when The Caregiver comes out, I'm like for top 3 to get that when it comes in. So I'm gonna eat good in some thrillers, which is so exciting because I've been really depriving myself of thrillers and horror lately. But I think I'm landing with Best Offer Wins at like a 3.5. I think entertainment wise and the ease of reading, definitely a 4-star. But I think overall, like, just the plot and character of it, I think if you're not liking it in the first hour, It's going to feel very repetitive and not very interesting because you're just hanging out with her and her husband, hanging out with her at her job, seeing the weird shit she gets up to. So I don't think this will be for everyone, but it was just a fun, enjoyable time. So I think we're laying in 3.5. Now, Dewey's 24-hour readathon wants me to start a new book. So it would make sense to start The Rights of a Starling because this is completely brand new. The other book that I'm like tempted to finish is The Gravewood, which is for a separate video, but I'm like 50% in, and so it would be kind of nice just to have that completionist vibe. I think audiobook wise, when I'm like doing other stuff like cleaning or whatever, I think I'm gonna jump into How to Kill a Guy in 10 Dates because I'm behind, like I said already, and I think another like short fun thriller to pair with a romantasy could be fun. I think this will help change the pace, but I also want to read the last chapter maybe of Shield of Sparrows just so I can remember fully what happened. So yeah, that's kind of my thinkings so far. I've got like so many ideas, so many things that I want to read and want to do. I'm luckily not feeling very burnt out on reading. That's kind of all I got for you right now. I'm going to pick a book, read that for the next 30 so minutes for the sprint, kind of like ease into a new story. As you can tell, I braided my hair. I will eventually change out of my shirt, but for now, it's sticking around. I guess for as long as I'm in a Aurelium sprint, it's fine if I keep it on. That's how we'll justify being in pajamas all day. I have started my new book, and I also got 40 pages into it per my Dewey 24 hours. So I'm now 46 pages in, and we have Odessa, Ransom, and is it Ransom? I'm gonna feel silly if it's, yeah, Ransom, like hold hostage. And Castilla, who I don't know, Caspia, I don't know if she was an important character in the last book, if she's obviously, maybe not obviously, but I'm assuming in some way related to Odessa's heritage on her mother's side based off just like the events of the books. But like, I don't know how they're related, what their correlation is, but Caspia is about to go on an adventure with a man who calls her Starling. So that's obviously going to play a big role in this. Ransom is on a quest for Odessa. Odessa is trying to be okay, I suppose. Also, like, I guess on the same quest, but not really. I am liking it. There was no real, like, what you missed last time on the previous episode type of flashback or easing you into, like, what happened. Like, I did go on Pagebound and looked at, like, the 100% forum of like what people were reacting to, so I remember bits and pieces of it, but I don't remember the ending super well, and so I kind of wish there was a little bit more easing me back into this world. But overall, I am liking it so far. I really love the narrator for Odessa. She's just like, her name's Samantha, so it's like, of course I like her. It's not like instantly grabbing my attention. It's not making me like ecstatic about what's going on, but I'm not disliking it either. Like, I'm having a good time, excited to get back into it. I think it's just taking a little bit longer to get into. I think because it is the chunkiest book that I've picked up so far this weekend, like, I think I need to give it a little bit more time to marinate and like ease me into it and get excited about it. So that's where we're at with this. I have not made it very far in How to Kill a Guy in 10 Dates, like whatsoever. I'm doing my best throughout the sprints to like participate in whatever they're doing. So when they hit a stretch goal, I'm also stretching. When somebody picks their next blank, like somebody picked their next beverage, they picked a dirty soda, I ordered a dirty soda. I'm still drinking my Monster, so it's currently in the fridge. I won't be ordering dinner tonight because I ordered groceries, but in that grocery haul was flour, so I'm gonna make pizza tonight. Incredible. But yeah, I'm trying my best to like participate in whatever they're doing. That way it feels like I'm, you know, an active participant involved. Similar to how like I have on the other side. Mostly muted, to be honest, just because there's a lot more chatty bits than there is for pageathon. But like when the spinner wheels are happening and the games are happening, I am loosely participating, but I find that because there's a lot of time for people to make their guesses that I can still be reading. So that's kind of what I've been doing today. It's been fun. Have I cleaned? Sam, have you done the one of two things that you said you would do this weekend? No, I haven't quite gotten to it yet. I haven't cleaned on the breaks as much as I'd wanted to, but that's okay. There's still plenty of time. It's truly 4 p.m. Like, I have so much time tonight, so much time tomorrow. It's wonderful having weekends again. You guys, incredible feeling. Everybody needs to have weekends off. This is so much good vibes, wonderful vibes. Anyways, that's my little check-in update. I just wanted to say that, like, I have started this. I'm making slow progress, but we are getting there. I think just, like, having new perspectives always worries me a little bit when it comes to fantasy and romantasy. Like, once we start expanding upon my original character. I understand it for the purpose of stories, but I often find that my enjoyment lacks because I usually just want to be like the main character still. But we'll see how it goes. I'm hopeful that I'm gonna like all of the perspectives. So far, Odessa is really standing out to me, and I do want to be with her the most. I shouldn't be surprised. I'm gonna read more of this, but this is also on Kindle Unlimited, so it would make a good like in-bed book. But I also have the ebook for The Gravewood and then an audiobook. So I'm doing like fine with like methods of reading. So I'm okay for now physically reading, but I do at some point want to move to the couch. And I would also like to be prepared for a bedtime book. A book I don't physically hold it while I sleep, or while you're ready to sleep. Sleeping and reading, oh, I would be unstoppable. Okay, anyways, I did roll my next Dewey, and I'm supposed to go for a walk, which might be hard because I now have 2 dogs instead of the 1 dog, so I'm dog sitting. And walking 2 dogs, hard. They're very strong. I am not. So I'm not sure about getting another walk-in with both of them, but the next role is to read another 40 pages. So that's what we're going to do. I'm going to read another 40 pages. I think I'm going to submit this for controlling what they read. So every 50 pages, I can submit books. I'm really trying to get them to read Married to the Alien Cowboy. So I'm going to keep trying and try to get them closer because we've only had it happen once. So that's the plan. Okay, bye. In honor of a Dewey 24-hour readathon snack time and in honor of the pageathon gals doing the spicy bean boozled challenge, which I would not do well in and don't wish to participate in. But in honor of it, I do have spicy nacho Doritos, a superior chip that I do love and are spicy, but I can handle it because you just kind of keep shoveling them into your mouth and then it's almost like it's not happening. You don't have time to think about it. I also have candy. Beryllium coated because on April 1st, April Fool's Day. I don't know if that's an international thing or not, or just a American thing, but it's a holiday, I suppose. And so for Beryllium, there's a confection shop that you can buy baked goods and whatnot. And Kit Kats seem to have fallen from the sky, unrelated to the confectioner shop. But I did want to get a Kit Kat so that I can use the packaging in my Beryllium journal, which you'll see at the end of the month. But I have desserts and snacks. So it's kind of my plan to have a little snack. I've made it not very far. I'm kind of slowing down my reading with this book. I might have to, I think my plan for today, I got 76 pages in before we started yapping. I think my plan for this is to get to part 2 today. And then I'll probably shift gears to something else that I'm a little bit more excited about. That's maybe engaging me a little bit more. I'm liking it, I'm just not loving it. But that's where we're at. I'm gonna have my little snack time while they're chatting because I don't want to get Dorito dust all over my book. And I'll see you later. The sun is still out and I need to make pizza, but the unhinged of sprints have officially maybe begun, and Cassidy was gifted the forced chance to read Mating with the Mallow, and so now all of us are collectively kind of reading it together, so I decided to pick it up, and I tucked an inky strand of hair behind my ear with a wrung-out sigh. I, Cecilia Ann Reynolds, did not care for sugar. Jelly beans didn't cut it for me. Neither did those little chocolate eggs stuffed with cream. But the worst were the sugar-coated marshmallows. Her dad left around the time of Easter, so she hates Easter candy. Oh, why is it always stupid trauma? I love it. Okay. As they stared at me with their beady little eyes from their shrink-wrap package, which barely contained their edible non-glitter bomb bodies, I could feel their evil presence. I could taste the sickly I could taste the sickly sweet cream within, which no hot chocolate could disguise. Oh boy, howdy guys, we're gonna be in for a moment. Alright, strap in guys, it's happening. Okay, I finished Mating with the Mallow, and disappointing would be the words that I would use. Not because a 24-page smut book of a weird variety is bad. I personally think Mating with the Mantis is a masterpiece. This one had no lore, no logic, no nothing. She had some type of unknown childhood trauma that was not explained or resolved or anything, minus the fact that her dad had left when she was a kid, but seems unrelated to the blood-curdling scream that she had heard, and then they just get put into a microwave and an explosion happens and they're men. I need a little bit more. Mating with the Mantis gave me enough backstory, reason as to why she was this way, how she came to be, but also enough of an explanation as to how this could have happened. Like, there was so much more just kind of packed into it that I appreciated personally. This one didn't quite do it for me. So I think this is maybe one of the worst ones that I've read. Not that it's like badly written, but it's not like well written either. There's nothing really exciting going on here. Unfortunate, but I did read Mating with the Mallows. So get to move from the desk, but I didn't make pizza, and it feels too late, so I think I'm gonna make it tomorrow when I have more time and I hopefully accomplish more things. Today truly got away from me. I'm just having so much fun reading. What can I do? I haven't read in so long. It's great. I've solidified a TBR like 5 times throughout this process, but I need to update you because I've read more things. I think since we last talked, I'm kind of losing track of like anything that's going on between us, but I am now 100 pages into The Rites of the Starling, and I'm still fine towards it. I still hope before the night ends to get to part 2, but part 2 is about 115 pages away, so realistically, I don't know. It is only 8:20 though, so I have time. But whilst I'm eating and kind of while I'm doing like admin stuff, I've been listening to How to Kill a Guy in 10 Dates. It's very fun. The premise is that a girl and her roommate decide to go to a new hot up and coming speed dating scene, evening, date night. But of course, our girl who's majoring in question mark studies but is writing her thesis on horror movies, specifically in the slasher genre, has ended up in the perfect position for herself. She has ended up in a real life slasher, and she has to put all of her knowledge to the test to help her and her fellow people who won't find romance in their life survive. It's fun, it's wacky. There's a lot of like reference to slashers and like the things that you should and shouldn't do, like don't say goodbye to anybody, don't have sex. Just fun, silly things, but there's also like a light romance perhaps going on. I'm wondering if he's gonna be the red herring because like that just feels classic, but I'm hoping that this book throws some good twists at me and it's not overly predictable. Kind of nice having these thrillers that are just kind of campy in a way, and I'm having a good time. So I'm gonna keep listening, keep eating, and I'll check with you guys a little bit later. Not a whole lot is going on after the mallows. I don't know why I said it that way, after the marshmallow smut. It's just been kind of a chill time. But I am expecting them to get off within the next like hour and a half, 2 hours, to be honest. Because we've been going since 7 a.m. my time, which is like, I think 10 a.m. most of their time. Cassidy's closest to me, time zone wise. But still, very early in the morning. And we've been going all day. So I expect them to get, you know, kind of tired and like wind down and probably get off because they're doing it again tomorrow from my time, 7 a.m. to when they end, about 4 p.m. So I'm not expecting them to go too much longer. So I'm hoping that at that point I can really like shift into like reading mode and just kind of power through some things, because the stop and go is fun but less productive reading wise. And if I want to hit my 1,500 page goal that I set for the beginning of this readathon, I gotta get to reading, guys. Good, honestly, afternoon. I do apologize. I haven't talked too much today, but not like anything crazy's happened either. I did read and finish Scrub Me Daddy by April Showers because this was the pick for Alexi, so I read it with her so that we can get Monica to read. It's part of the reward system. And it was fine. It was like 94 pages, and it really was just like girl orders infomercial alien scrub daddy, and he cleans and pleasures. What can I say? I think this one was better than the marshmallow one, the Peeps one, just because it's longer, so there was more lore and world building and understanding to it, and also we got to know the character a little bit better, so I did enjoy it more, but I wouldn't say that it was my favorite, and it does that thing where it's like, a brand new man who's never been on Earth before, he knows nothing, he doesn't know what fries are, and then like, is also meant to be like this super strong protector man who can get into a fight with anybody, but it's like, I understand like the desire, I guess, of having like a man who waits on you hand and foot and whose like goals and ambition is you, I guess. It doesn't really work for me, and it does kind of feel like it's a bit infantilizing of them. So, don't love that. And then I made pretzels, which are still hot, and it's time for me to try my dirty soda, which is pre-made. This is the Dr. Pepper limited edition creamy coconut. I do like coconut, so I'm hoping to like this. The only flavor syrup I have in my home is peach. I don't have any like cream either, so it's kind of just this. So I decided to pick this up and try it. It tastes better than it smells. It just tastes like a Dr. Pepper. It doesn't smell very good. It's not that creamy. Like there's an aftertaste. It's like a 3-hit wonder. It's a hint of coconut, Dr. Pepper, and then the aftertaste is like a creamy coconut. So it's okay. It's not my favorite thing, but I will definitely drink it and finish it. And let you know that 4 reads left for the readathon. I'm going to read Orcbound. I'm going to get to part 2 of Rights of the Starling. I have 49 pages till then. I went to sleep last night. I'm going to finish the last 124 pages of the Gravewood, seeing as I've decided to cancel that video. We'll talk about that in a bit. And the 4th book I'm going to finish is... How to Kill a Guy in 10 Dates. So those are my plans. I'm closest to finishing How to Kill a Guy in 10 Dates, so that will be our next update. And then I'll probably finish Orcbound, The Gravewood, and then I'll read up to part 2 in Rights of the Starling. I will not finish it we have 3 hours left of the readathon. I'm not going to finish it in that time. Anywho, I'm going to eat these. I think they're cool now. Wish me luck. I finished How to Kill a Guy in 10 Dates. I don't really know how I want to rate this yet, so we're going to kind of talk through my feelings, and maybe we'll get to a conclusion by the end. If you like the slasher genre, if you like those campier horror stories, if you like an almost meta type story, this could really work for you. It's definition fun thriller. I never felt like so shocked by any of the reveals, but I did like it. It wasn't unpredictable necessarily, but it was fun, and it was an easy read, and I think it was a perfect like readathon pick. I'm glad that I read it. I'm excited to go back and listen to the old live show, but I never felt like connected to the characters. I'm not really a slasher movie watcher, so I don't really like, I understand the tropes of it all. I couldn't like give you the perfect plot for a slasher movie, but I have a lot of friends who would write theses. They would write a thesis on slasher films because they enjoy the genre. So I get it, but it wasn't my perfect book. I just liked it. It wasn't my favorite thing, but I liked it. So I guess a 3.5. I feel like 4 is a little bit too generous, but for a debut, it was fun. I definitely appreciate the mix of like thriller suspense with romance. I definitely see a lot of those coming out in 2026, which I think is fun. But yeah, I did finish that. And then after How to Kill a Guy in 10 Dates, I jumped into The Gravewood, which is by Kelly Andrew. The video that I was planning to do was a dedicated reading vlog to Kelly Andrews and just reading all 4 of her books, because The Gravewood is her recent release that I had an arc of, and I was trying to read it and get a video out around that release time, but tax season. And so I'm finishing it now. I had 124 pages left at the start of this sprint. We've got 2 minutes to chat. So I've jumped back in. I'm going to make some serious progress. I'm going to finish it. That's the goal. I'm going to finish The Gravewood. And this is following a couple of teens in a post-apocalyptic world. There has been a disease that has plagued a bunch of people, some who can take to it and can become vampires, others who don't take to it and kind of become more of a zombie. And I think it's a really cool world building system. It's very post-apocalyptic in the way that like there are pockets of civilians, and then there's the Gravewood, which is this big spooky forest where like the vampires go, and there's like vampire clans and politics that we don't see a whole lot of. And the first 50%, I was so into this story. I was like eating it up. I was like, this is so fantastic. Obsessed. I really liked the atmosphere, the setting. Everything about it really hooked me in. I was interested in the characters and how the Gravewood often whispers to people so they end up getting lost and you don't see them again. But because our main character, like the author, is deaf, she has hearing aids that she can just turn off and like march through the forest, which is how she meets Lysander. Lysander is the vampire, and he's just like a very interesting character, and I really enjoyed just being with him. But now we have hit the over 50% mark. We have left the small town. We have started a travel montage. We are headed to, I believe, like a masquerade ball, but I'm afraid that's going to happen in the second book. This is going to be a duology, and I unfortunately am not loving the second half. I was seeing as the releases come out, I'm able to pick up the audiobook, which is kind of helping me get through it a bit quicker because the character motivations don't align to me the same way. I feel like I'm being left in the dark. There's a lot of assumptions, and I understand that they're teenagers, but a lot of conversations go one way and then like 5 pages later there's a completely different conversation. Like it's kind of whiplash just seeing where we're going, constantly different directions. I do like the 4 that we're following right now: Lysander, Shay, Asher, and I think her name is Poppy. Poppy's a freak and I love her. She's so weird. She speaks her mind and she has a little pet possum named Kit. As much as I like the characters and I'm fascinated by the world, this like traveling for minimal purpose is just going on for too long. It's a lot of melodrama between the characters that I just am not that interested in. Like, I feel like Shay and Lysander could just like be a cute little couple together and just like stop with the will they won't they of a love triangle. It's not working for me. And I'm getting a little bit disappointed. I really went into this like expecting almost a 5-star feeling towards the beginning, and now that we're getting into the second half, I've kind of lost steam, which is another reason why it's taken me this long to finally finish. But alas, I have 20% left, 86 pages to go. So I'm gonna probably finish it during the next 45-minute sprint, hopefully. And then I will check in with you guys when I finish that. But yeah, I'm steaming ahead. We've got like good progress going.
Bye, friends.
And with that, 48 hours has come and gone, and it is now the end of the readathon, which is great for me, and I think especially the host. I'm not exhausted, but I have sprinted many times in my day, and it is tiring being on camera, being on all the time, focusing on what the chat is saying, the analytics behind the scenes that you need to pay attention to. There's just so much going on that it really does take it out of you. But I finished the Gravewood just in the nick of time. I had like 4 minutes to spare, but I did not finish Orcbound. So we kind of got there. In the end, I read 1,533 pages, including the audiobook reads. Because I listened to audiobooks, but you count your pages for audiobooks. I listened to 2 novels, finished a novel that I was halfway up through, and then 3 sentient / romantasy novellas. And then I listened to a completely out of the realm audiobook just because I need to make progress in it, and I was making pretzels. So with those pages, I did make my goal. My goal was 1,500. I'm proud of myself. I read more than I honestly was expecting to. I'm excited to continue in this. I'm excited to just like have the mojo of reading again. The Gravewood ending was okay enough. It felt very rushed for like what we like. The pacing was just all off. Like the first half, small town, good vibes, vampires, then a very large portion of like traveling and going to different places and meeting different people, and like there's all these like unraveled ties that never felt tied up by the end. And I know that there's like leaving room for the sequel. I can see the direction that it's going in, but it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. The character motives kind of got messy at the end and weren't making sense. It felt like we were really just not seeing the whole picture. Like things weren't happening on screen for me enough that I felt confused at times. So I'm a little bit disappointed by it. I don't know how I'm going to rate it yet. We'll see how it goes. I'm excited to continue the rest of her works. I'll probably continue in this duology just to finish it because duologies are pretty easy to read, but I don't see myself like requesting the arc for it or like trying to get to it sooner than later. It just kind of turned out to be like an alright read for me. I did not get very far into Orcbound. I only made it, I guess, a third of the way through. It's like 94 pages and I'm on page 30. So I kind of made it far. I'm mostly excited to finish Rites of the Starling. And that's kind of it for this whole 48 hours, which was pretty nice. The only cleaning that I did was I cleaned my tub and I cleaned my towels. That's it. So I definitely have chores to do this evening. That's where I will be choring it up. And also just like, I'm going to watch some YouTube. I'm going to relax a little bit. I am planning to read more tonight still, but I think mostly I just kind of want to chill and relax a little bit because I deserve that. We all deserve that after reading so much. So I'm going to watch some YouTube, and then I'll probably, maybe, you tell me with the runtime of this video, you may or may not hear my final thoughts of Rights of the Starling by the time this comes up. It really just depends on how quickly I get to this and how much I prioritize reading it. So with that said, if this is the end of the video, thank you for joining me on this 48 hours. I had a lot of fun. It's really nice to like have motivation to get back into reading. I really need to start setting some better habits for myself where I come home and I read in the evenings, or I wake up in the morning and I read, or getting back into the habit of listening to audiobooks and doing activities because I've really dropped the ball on that. And I just want to get into that mindset again where I can focus and I'm interested in reading. And now that I think life around me is calming down, I can definitely find those routines and habits. So if you're curious about that journey, feel free to join me, and you can subscribe to the channel. I don't like saying it, but I should. I should promote it and should ask. Yeah, that's gonna be it for me. Thank you so much for hanging out, and I will see you in the next one very soon. Bye!